Okay, Gaffer. Firstly, a really strong performance touching back on last Saturday. I'm sure you're really pleased with that performance.
Yeah, look, at this stage of the season, how important a performance is over results, I'm not quite sure where that balance is. I've said all along, if the underlying performance is there, usually the results are there, and that was the case on Saturday. We deserved to win the game, and so yeah, it was pleasing all round. I'd say there was things that really pleased me in both halves of the game, and we've ticked another game off, and we've got to keep doing the same.
Yeah, and you made a number of changes, one of which was bringing Cam McJanet back into the starting lineup in place of Ty Warren. Firstly, how impressed were you with Cam? And secondly, how did Ty take that? And he's been in good form, hasn't he?
Yeah, look, the thing is, this isn't just a Ty comment, this is the whole squad comment. We're now starting to get players back in quite a few positions, not all positions, but quite a few positions. So there's competition, which is what we want. You know, it's. I think we had 2 games, maybe September time, where we could actually pick a team. Whereas virtually all the rest of the season, there's been at least one area of the pitch where it's been forced upon us. So it's really pleasing that we've got that strength in depth. So there's always going to be people that are disappointed because they all want to play football. They're all professional footballers. They all get paid to play football. And Ty's done unbelievably well. We just felt that Cam added a bit more balance. But then that's not to say that Ty won't play, this Saturday, next Saturday, because he's a good player. We've said it all along, and we've got other good players waiting in the wings. And we had Dara played and Geezer played, and we've got others. Jordan Davis is getting really close to being absolutely fully at it. We've got Charles back on the bench on Saturday, so we're now getting in a position where it's like, right, okay, who's the best player to take advantage of the opposition's weaknesses, as opposed to just or stop the opposition's strengths, rather than just, well, he's got to play because that's all we've got. So that's a really refreshing, place to be as a head coach, and the lads deserve a huge amount of credit for being in the position we're in. So yeah, it's pleasing. Ty took it, as you would imagine, extremely professionally. And he'll be ready when he's next called upon, and we just don't know when that is.
Yeah, I know you have just touched on it there, but I think only a couple of weeks ago we were in a difficult position with injuries. I think the fact we were still picking up results over that time and putting in good performances is a credit to the amount of quality we've got in our depth.
Yeah, we did it earlier on in the season. We had no midfielders at one stage. I know one game we played 2 fullbacks as 2 sixers, which is just, you look back and it's bonkers, and we won that game. So we know that we've done really well with the circumstances that's been thrown upon us virtually all season. So we've got 5 games to go, and we've got to see where we get to. The lads have had a right good go, regardless of what happens in the next 5 games, and hopefully we'll do enough to get over the line and get a couple more at least. Yeah,
so back on our travels, facing Harriut, we're looking for our 11th away win of the season, which is currently we're joint top of that away table, in front of a sold-out crowd as well. I'm sure you're hoping for another good performance. Yeah, look, it's always a difficult place to go. I saw them earlier on this season. It's regardless of league position, Simon always sets his teams up to be extremely competitive. We know it's a narrow pitch with that slope and what have you, so we know it's not an easy game. It's never an easy game. I think they're unbeaten in the last 8 at home, I think. So we know it'll be a tough game, but at the same time we know we've got really good players. So we've got to make sure that anything that they throw at us, we match them, and then hopefully let our quality come out and come to the fore. That's basically the plan for the next 5 games, if you like. There's obviously much more nuance to that game on game, but no, we can't look beyond Harrogate. We've got to make sure that we are fully prepared, fully understand what they may or may not do to us, and exploit their weaknesses. That's the challenge. They're virtually safe. I'm not sure if they think that, but they're virtually safe. Obviously the bottom 2 are playing each other as well, so it means they both can't pick up points on them. So it's a tough game. It's always a tough place to go, but it's one that we're looking forward to. And last time we played them at our place, it was a pretty dominant performance, 3-0 win. Like you say, it's a really tough place to go, isn't it?
Yeah, look, I think when we're beating them at home, I think somebody was saying that we've never beaten before. Which you sort of can read into them kind of things whatever you want to. Oh, we're overdue a win then. There's a completely different slant to it. I presume we've never beaten them away. I've no idea how many times we've played them. If we only played them once, it's a bit like when I don't know, somebody says Brentford have never beaten Arsenal. They've probably only played each other 6 times or something like that. I don't know if that's true, by the way, but you get my point. You've got to put it into context, and the context is we're 7th in the table and Harriut a 4th or 5th bottom, 6th bottom. And at this stage of the season, the table is reflective of your performance. So if we perform like we know we can, that's what we've got to do, because that's the challenge. That's the challenge for the next 5 games.
And another sold-out away end as well.
Oh.
I'm sure that comes to no surprise to you that our fans are going to be there, and they're going to be there in big numbers.
Yeah, look, I think that the away fans in particular deserve a huge amount of credit. They're travelling unbelievable numbers. I appreciate it's one of the close ones, but it's still an hour and a half away. They make a difference. I say it every week, but they do. I thought the last home game, the fans were excellent. I thought they were brilliant, in fact. And there can be a difference. You've seen that Bradford at home. They haven't lost at home for a long, long time. It's no surprise that the fans get right behind them, 20-odd thousand and whatever. I don't just mean the number. I mean about the fact that whereas previous years when fans haven't got behind them, they haven't won as many games. It has such an impact, and so I hope that we give the fans plenty to cheer about. But I hope they bring the singing voices, because them nip and tuck games, which it might be, we don't know yet. We've got to make sure that we get over the line, and the fans can play a big part. Obviously, we thank them for travelling, and we hope they can give them plenty to cheer about.